Hello, this is Kirby Meister 2 and these are my reviews, and today I'll be looking at Space Channel 5. Today's review is going to be a little bit different because I couldn't honestly find a way how to review this game properly. I tried to do this different ways. But yeah, this game is a little too special for any of the reviews I've done so far. So yeah, let me just talk about this awesome game. So the story is pretty interesting. It takes place in the future, and what happens is the game shows that there's this one little kid that is lost in space, kind of all alone, and she's saved by this unknown space. Well, she's saved by this unknown person. 10 years into the future, these creatures known, well, not creatures, but these aliens known as the Merlins, they are being brainwashed to make people dance, and so the one girl from earlier that was saved, she's now this person that is called Ulala, and basically she works for this news report channel that kind of acts like this space police too. It's kind of weird. The game doesn't really get into that, but anyways, so she goes to the space station that's being taken hostage by these Merlians, and yeah, the story doesn't take itself pretty seriously, and it's pretty short by any kind of game standards. It takes at least an hour to beat. If you're pretty good at the game, it takes an hour, which means there isn't a lot of character growth or anything, so players won't understand like Ulala's motivation that much, or her growth as a character. But for what it is, the story, as much as I'm telling, like, as much as as I'm telling it, it's actually a pretty good story. So as for gameplay, there's not much modes because this game is very story based. So the only thing I can really talk about gameplay-wise are its controls. Since this is a rhythm game, you got up, right, left, down for directional, and you also have A and B. Now A is for shooting the Merlians, and B is for saving people that have been captured by the Merlians. That comes later. Now, I said this before, this is a rhythm game, but it's a little bit different from a rhythm game. Instead of the game having like Guitar Hero, there's these things that are scrolling down to tell you, that are telling you like what buttons you need to press. This game is kind of like, how can I describe this? It's kind of like Simon Says, except you gotta get the rhythm down. Except players have to get the rhythm down in sequence to the rhythm, which makes for some interesting things, like you got the rhythm up, right, left, no, up, right, left, down, shoot, shoot, shoot. Players have to memorize certain patterns and the rhythm, because it's really that kind of it's really that kind of game. Well, this is pretty simple. The game uses this kind of perfectly challenged. Some of the bosses in the game they give players a good challenge to how they would like to do things. There's a boss that requires players to shoot at the opposite, so if that boss is right, players have to do left, that kind of interesting stuff. So the game has some good challenge in accordance to the rhythm. Not gonna lie, the game looks pretty good for the Dreamcast era. Let's see. Sometimes, and this will get over to soundtrack and stuff, but the voice acting doesn't really match with what the characters are saying. Sometimes they'll have those moments where their mouths are moving, but it's not the same as what they're saying on the screen. It's kind of weird like that, but it gives the game more of that cheesy layering that's honestly perfect for this game. I like the character designs. Ulala's my favorite character in regards to design. Even the space aliens, the Marolians, they have a pretty cool design to them too. I wish I could talk about this one cameo appearance of this person, but that would also kind of be spoiling the game. But when I first saw this, well, not cameo, but when I first saw this person in this game, I was a little bit confused if they actually got the real life person to agree to use kind of his likeness. It's kind of weird, but it adds more to that cheesiness. Sometimes the game will do this unique events where it mentions I can't figure out the style to this. I think it's not CGI, but there are two ways the game has two aesthetics. One, when it comes to the cutscenes, they are wonderfully animated and detailed. I just kind of forgot the style, but the style that they did for the cutscenes, I love that. And the cutscenes also blend in with the actual gameplay graphics themselves, so kudos on them. I can't really complain too much about how the game looks because it's gorgeous. Well, not gorgeous, but it has that nice space feel to it that I expect in this game. Let's see. If there's a huge problem, sometimes the game has sometimes the game kind of lags a little bit, and this can really affect not only the graphics but the gameplay, because the gameplay requires a lot of focus on rhythm, and if that rhythm is cut off or sped too much with this lag, then yeah, it definitely turns into some problems. I love the music. Mexican Flyer is one of my favorites, and in fact, for the past week I've been hearing that one song for so many times, especially at work and at home, and had that as an earworm for at least like a week. It's one of the best. And then there's also other good songs. The one that you're listening right now is actually one of my favorites too. And yeah, definitely the music is the best. I love this game. It's one of the best games for the Dreamcast, and if you're really interested in collecting Dreamcast games and anything Dreamcast, I highly recommend getting this one because it's one of the most unique experiences. It deserves the attention for any game collector. If you don't have a Dreamcast, or if you do, this is one of the games that should be required because it's I can describe this as much as I can. It's just really a special game. Well, personally, this is a special game for me because I love music. Can't stand without music. So this really, this does a really good job for me. I can't highly recommend this. So yeah, definitely check out Space Channel 5. You won't regret it. And that's all I gotta say.